Ladies and gentlemen, we're back once again for the final event of PACE 2019. Gonna be hot. Cheese versus Puncayshun. Best of 3 70 star. PACE has been awesome.
It has been insane. The pathway leading up to this has been crazy, and it's finally coming to a head. 3 big days, and the boys are here. They've been practicing, putting their heart into it. It's going to be lit.
Lit.
Absolutely. Well, before we get into it, I've, of course, got to go plug-o mode. We've got our shirts. They're looking good, man. I love how it feels. It's so soft, very, very comfy, breathable. Of course, we got the mugs. We got sweatshirts. In the bio of our Twitch channel, you can get some merch. It's not going to be available for much longer, so might just have to cop it, man. A revolutionary event, and the very first one, it would be pretty cool to have the merch. And while I'm going plug, I might as well go full plug. I've heard some boys are waiting for some hot tracks from your boys, so you might want to, slap a follow down, soundcloud.com/simply64. I will be dropping a hot track when I get back. But beyond that, we've got a hot pre-interview from D Whatever, made by the man himself. So we're going to take a look at that, and then we'll get into it.
So Grand Finals is today, and we both only slept like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
And the past 3 days have been more of kind of like just kind of freaking out because I kind of... Sorry. I don't think I would mind how it goes today if I win or lose. I've done so many runs and races at this event, and I'm so happy with how I performed in the group stage. If I lose the finals, it won't be such a big deal. I'm very satisfied with how I did so far.
The 47 boosted my confidence for sure. I still don't really know how I did it. Like, sometimes you just have those moments where you just kind of enter like a zen mode. Everything just doesn't feel that difficult, especially with me like opting out of a few like optimizations, like front sub, for example.
Yeah, like the zen mode thing, it does make sense and it's kind of weird, but there are those players who just can't not perform well, and most people see you as that player. I don't really know why it happens either. Some players just can't.
It's kind of silly in how there's like, it's kind of like there's a random element to it. It's like you sit down, you play, you like try to focus, and you just hope it goes well.
That's exactly what that's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know why though. It's weird. It's like a random thing. And like your first match was kind of like not. Your first match was 50.
I mean, if 50 is terrible for me.
Yeah, and so. Like I feel like that was the match that did not have the good random, like the RNG. You tried focus, but you just couldn't play well for some reason. And then the next day you would play well.
I haven't eaten anything. I'm probably not going to eat something. Feeling slightly groggy, just getting the pre-johns out of the way, but
you should probably eat something.
I don't know. I've raced on an empty stomach and done really well.
All right, fine. So what you're saying is you're gonna race on an empty stomach and still beat my ass. All right.
I mean that's pretty much the goal, but like
that's pretty much the goal.
Kind of, even if I lose, it's like probably not that big of a deal because I'm still happy with my performance so far. I was like so worried I was gonna like bust her out and go like 0-3.
Basically, it's just RNG whoever wins today.
Any shout-outs, closing words?
Shout-outs to GSA and Xanadu. Shout-outs to the fans, everyone who's here watching.
Shout-outs to the live Cluck and Egg.
Perfect, thank you.
Shout-outs indeed. And shout-outs to everybody who's been here enjoying PACE. It's been wild.
Lit
Lit
is how to describe that. I mean, all 4 days, it's been nonstop action between Celeste, SMO, SM64. Last night, the 4-way 120.
That was hot.
Was hot. I mean, clips going absolutely nuts.
Insane. Dude, I still can't believe Sig busted out the box.
He did.
That was just...
I can't believe that everything that he was doing was, like, updated to 2019.
Yeah.
Like
everything.
He hasn't missed a beat.
It was all boom.
Like, new Fire Sea movement, new everything.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Just picking up that controller. So, 2019 and beyond for PACE, because like it's going to be lit for sure. But
100%.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to get started. We've seen the drama unfold for the past couple of months now.
Yeah.
Puncayshun sitting on top for most of the league.
He has been. He's been dominating it, and it's kind of interesting. I think for a long time, Cheese was like undisputed, like really the best at Mario. He was really hot, but it's actually Punkay's been a very good racer for a while. Like, even when Cheese was sort of, on top, Punkay's always been able to take races from him left and right. And there's been periods where it's been Cheese. Like, recently, Cheese has become the race guy, taking a lot of wins. But now it seems like we're at a point where it's super back and forth. Both of them could take it. And honestly, Game 3 seems very,
very plausible. I mean, it all depends. Day one was a little rough. Everybody's kind of shaking off the dust, getting rid of the jet lag.
getting used to the atmosphere.
But Cheese has got to be nervous, popping off with a 47.59 Punkay did yesterday.
That is huge.
So Cheese has got to be a little bit nervous going into this race.
Absolutely.
A lot on the line. Right now, Cheese sitting on top with 3 wins, hasn't lost yet, 199 points. But Punkay, even with the loss, is only 5 points behind Cheese. That's incredible.
Yeah, that match that Punkay had against Ouija gave him a bountiful feed. And, I mean, it's about fitting, the points. 199 to 194. It's about what I imagine it would be between these two.
And like you said, Punkay, an absolute beast this entire tournament. Average time, 48.55. Posting his worst time here in day one. Going against Cheese. Average time, 49.40. But the throws, look at the throws. 3.21 for Punkay versus 3.93 for Cheese.
Yeah.
And
he's actually been, like, that throw statistic, like, for the league matches, it was very common to be seeing Cheese, 4 or 5 throws.
Right.
But every match, he's landed all 3.
He has. And now that the pressure is on, like being right here, grand finals, on top of the stage, what do you think we're going to see? Do you think that's going to, like, reiterate the nerves from day one, or do you think that it's like confidence over the last couple of days?
Cheese is a weird specimen. I mean, just look at that man. He's got the hot red glasses, looking fresh.
Right.
And you got Punkay with the bun, but sometimes the pressure cracks him.
Right.
But sometimes he gets stronger.
He just gets in the zone. Like it's weird. You see Cheese, like right now, normally you see the other side of him when he's streaming at home, and he's just like zoned in. The crowd's not here, the stream's not here, he's just on it.
Cutthroat.
And then Punkay, the same thing, kind of like he's on his home turf, got the speed towel out, wiping up, getting ready. Rocking that pun bun for the 3rd day in a row. Didn't work out day one, having the hair down, but man, I don't blame him. If I was him, I wouldn't even wash my hair.
Oh, wow.
Just leave it.
Leave it in the bun the whole time.
Exactly.
I feel like that'd be hard to sleep with, though. At that point, it's like a little pillow.
Ooh, pun bun pillow.
But fun fact, he sleeps on his front, so it wouldn't really be a pillow for him.
Yeah, it's just like a poof ball on the back of his head.
The more you know.
The more you know. Spreading facts here in the chat.
But both of them have been up pretty early, grinding away. Punkay actually mentioned that he finds the practice before the race to be very beneficial.
Right.
And so was grinding away in the ballroom just before this SMO race that we saw, which, man, that second race.
Sync coming out of mech, but to the frame sync.
Literally.
That's crazy.
Literally.
And we've seen that throughout SMO here in GSA. Like, even the release video for PACE was centered around that SMO sync that came on. So I wouldn't expect anything else. And we're going to see that here. These guys have a history together. I'm talking years.
Years.
Really good friends. You've been a part of that group for quite some time. So it's almost like going against your best bud.
Yeah.
That's just as good as you are.
Yeah.
And so even though it's a competition, I guarantee you're going to see hugs and jumping up and down and all this craziness afterwards. So
it's some Sasuke and Naruto type thing we got going on. Right
exactly.
Here. Even when you're friends, though, once you're tossed in the ring, you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
But I know they're going to come out of it, and no matter what happens, the sportsmanship all throughout the league, all throughout this event has just been killer.
It's been awesome. And that's why I like, speedrunning and then GSA doing such a great job here with PACE. It's that competitive, do what you got to do on stage, come off, and now we're going to go hang out at Applebee's or Buffalo Wild Wings or something afterwards, I like that mentality. Mario. Looks like we're doing some final preparations, double-checking, making sure everything is working properly.
And it looks like they're ready. Milo about to give us the countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
And we're off.
And the crowd is showing up at the very beginning of game 1. We already got it almost packed in here. It's getting popping. A couple open seats. By the end of it, oh man, Punkay's got his towel out, already rubbing it, making sure they're completely dry.
Completely.
Wants to be completely ready.
And he got the nervous yawn. You see that at the beginning of every race?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like one quick nervous yawn.
I haven't noticed that.
And then going right into it.
Shaking it off, you know, tightening up those shoulders, getting in a nice relaxed position.
But geez, you know, sitting straight up, like back, not even on the back of the chair.
Yeah. Leaning forward.
That's the position of attack.
It really is. You know, sometimes you play a game of Melee, lose a stock, got to just lean forward
Lean
and
up.
get that extra power.
And it works.
Oh, but she's leaning back now. Doesn't want to exert all the power yet. We might see it busted out later.
Now, here's where it's really important. We've seen in the matches so far during PACE.
Nice.
Getting through Lakitu Skip, Bomb Clip, and Whomp's Fortress lays into your mentality. Like, we saw D Whatever yesterday. Great performance. Had a little bit of a rough time in Whomp's Fortress. But it takes time to get back from that.
Absolutely. And it's actually been, I've been very impressed by how nice the beginning has been going for these players.
Oh, yeah.
Including Ouija and D Whatever. They've all been able to get out of Whomps relatively unscathed.
Bomb Clip, making it look easy. I've said before, and I'll say it 1.5 million times, that's why these guys are sitting on top. That's why you've got number 1 and number 2 sitting right in front of you now.
It's poetic, man. Just writes itself.
All right, chat, you know what it's time for. Cheese posted a 12-5 in day 2. Can you do it again? Get your guesses into chat right now.
I'm feeling some 12-6s right now.
Dual 12-6s?
No messing around. Putting their foot down.
Got a lot of 12-6s and 12-7s in the chat.
Oh,
12-8 and a 12-5 from Cheese.
The audience getting hyped up for that one. Definitely worthwhile. I mean, that point 3 is going to go a very long way. Cheese pretty much bopping off, but actually Punkay still rocking the lead.
Wow. 2 12-5s. Going into Whomp's Fortress.
Indeed we are.
Knowing that you're going against these guys, like let's say you're up on the stage, it's a 3-way, you're going into Whomp's, what's going through your head at this point?
I'd take it one star at a time. I'm like, okay, first thing, Owless. 100% Owless. Okay, opting for 100.
And Cheese going for Cannabis.
Yeah. And we haven't seen one texture set up Canalus.
Not one. Going to that.
For those unaware, you actually can do a faster Canalus, which is somewhat reliable. You can get it pretty consistent, and it would save about 2 or 3 seconds. But it's got the off chance that it won't work, and that's a 10-second time loss, and especially at a level like this, is it worth it?
Every second counts, and it's balancing that high risk, high reward, or high risk, low reward. And I think that's what both of these guys are doing. Cheese,
ooh, nice.
Getting in there for Alice.
Giving the arms a little shake, dropping the tension.
Just finishing up 100 coin. He won't have to worry about it. Cheese is going to have to go back in and get these 2 stars with the 100 coin in reds.
Yeah, they're sort of heavy loads in their own way. Like Owless and Canalus is like one package, and then the 100 coin is another package, and they're both, you know, pretty nice packages.
Cheese setting up very nicely. Definitely on pace to make that cycle fairly easily.
Oh, and he dives off. And, you know, a part of that is you have to go so fast when you're doing the movement that Cheese is doing, and so missing the cycle. Oh, and the ball. And another ball. Just missed 2 cycles. This could be huge for Punkay. Most important thing is getting that red coin, and he's got it. Okay.
Really great at backing that up. Unfortunately, had no momentum going into that Piranha Plant, so kind of had to kick and just stall there for just a second.
Yeah, that was a little bit mean, kicking the Piranha in the face, but, I mean, he kind of deserves it. Sometimes the RNG is really bad, and the blue coin just goes flying off the ledge, so it's like, you kind of get what you deserve type thing.
That's fair. don't know exactly where that piranha face is because it's like his whole head
Yeah.
is his mouth. Cheese wrapping it up just as Punkay finished up Atlas.
Mm-hmm. So Punkay went back in at 6.
Now, going into this, those small mistakes are what cost the most. Like, you're giving the opportunity for your opponent to just kind of run away with it at that point. So, with the caliber, remember, big words here again.
Yeah.
With the caliber that these guys play at consistently, they're not going to give up any wiggle room at all.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little.
Maybe just a tiny bit. We have seen that, and Punkay did get the 47-59, but he also, you know, he got the 50, what was it, 50-30?
Yeah.
50-something. But the game face is on. You could see it in his nostrils.
That's where the game face is centered,
Yeah.
is the nostrils. Okay.
Centralized.
Not a whole lot to make up in time here. Killing this big Whomp, grabbing that star.
Throwing us up the peace sign. But he's a cold-blooded killer. I mean, he generally has a pretty happy face, but it never changes. And so that is a little bit unsettling.
You know, someone mentioned in chat last night they thought the star just went to where you were because everybody picks up the star.
Oh, yeah.
And no, it's a specific spot that you're lining yourself up with to grab that star quick.
Gotta do it.
Okay, still looking hot. Calm, cool, and collected. That's
Pretty
easily
much
once.
flawless beginning from Punkay.
All right, we saw a 12-8 from Punkay in the beginning. Chad, let us know what you think for this next one. Cheese heading up as well. I see a lot of 12-7s for Punkay. And a 12-6 for Cheese.
12-7.
12-7 for Punkay.
I'm going to say 12. Oh, now I'm going to say 12-7 for Cheese after that little bump. I was going to give him 12.6, but that dream might be, yeah.
12-7, 12-7.
But still pretty spicy. It's like hot.
Like not full caliente, just like pulled back a little bit.
Yeah,
Right?
just
Okay.
a touch.
All right.
A little bit of zip, but no zop. Oh, but the missed red from Punkay. And a small opportunity for Cheese to get some time back in his back pocket.
Missing the twins. So generally, you catch all of them. It's those first two that can be kind of rough. Cheese looking really good with the parabolas here. I'm going to shout out one more time to Triforce TK, who says this is the hardest star in the game. And I agree with him, not by actually doing the star, but just doing the star fast and efficient. That's what's tough.
But here is Dark World coming up. Using that star power, we have unlocked the door, and it's time for some action.
And we've seen some sauce in Dark World throughout PACE so far.
Definitely. You know, like, practicing this level, it's really, actually, at this level of gameplay, this is not a very difficult stage. But once you add the pressure of, oh man, if I fall, that's going to be huge. I'm going to be way behind. Might not be able to make it back up, potentially, if Punkay busts out the gameplay that he did yesterday.
It's almost like the first large skill check within the run, I would think, because you're maintaining that momentum. You're using dives, long jumps, wall kicks. You kind of use the gamut. Cheese taking a fall, missing with the kick.
The double firstie from Punkay accelerating forward, and now, I mean, we did see something even worse on day one. D-Whatever falling at the very end and was still able to pick up the W, but Punkay not going to give up his lead as easily. Oop.
That was pretty scary.
Wow, and a dance from Punkay as well. From the Bowser. Everything's looking up for this man.
Looking really good, and that's got to be a boost for his confidence. I know he was very nervous coming into this race, but he's not showing it at all. Like, he's not letting up.
That's just what it does, man, the pressure.
All right.
Man, this run is crazy right now for
All
Punkay. Beautiful double firsties. I never get tired of seeing that.
So we talk about firsties even throughout this league. I know we have probably some newer viewers. What exactly is that when we say, oh, we have a first frame wall kick, we have a firstie? Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Sure. So when you wall kick in this game, apparently you have 5 frames. I thought for the longest time it was 4, but
I did too.
apparently it's 5 frames to press that A button and ricochet off the wall before you bonk. But if you press A right on the very first frame, instead of bouncing off the wall at a set speed, you actually gain a little bit of speed. Like it adds on to what you went into the wall with. And so if you have a lot of speed going at a wall and then you get a firstie, you're going to come off that wall super fast. But if you have a lot of speed going to the wall and you get a second frame, third frame, it's always going to be the same.
Right.
And so that's why those firsties at the end of Dark World are so big and you get so much speed coming with that long jump.
And firsties aren't always what you want. You know, things like Alice, you don't want a firstie.
Right.
You want to slow down a little bit so you can get into the cage.
Yeah, Cheese actually has touched on it multiple times in his streams that he's not a big fan of firsties. He tends to get them pretty often when he doesn't want them, and usually it's pretty negative effects. Because you're not ready for it. Like, you're always ready for that set speed. You've practiced with that. That's what you're used to. And when you get this extra burst of speed, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Boom.
We got to slow down, calm down, take a breath.
Punkay is not taking a breath at all at this point. Cheese just now getting into Cool Mountain. Punkay bringing that baby penguin back already. Looking hot in this cold mountain. Cheese going for this wall kick.
A little bit low. Oh, and the invisible. See how he backs it up, though? You can make perfect.
And that's why it's so important when learning these games. You start out with those beginner strats. So what Cheese did there, went for the difficult strat, which is that backflip into a wall kick, but backed it up, or had to back it up with the beginner strat. And that just shows the game knowledge that these runners have going into this event. Okay, going for CCM 17. He's going to be going for 100 coins here. The goal is going to be 98 or 99. Those are the magic numbers.
Yeah, I'd say the backups are almost as important to know as the strats themselves. Because depending on how you mess it up, I mean, you can lose. It could be 10 seconds versus 30 seconds versus 5 seconds, depending on what kind of backup you do and how well you know it.
Oh,
And
easily.
with the veteran players, they've messed up everything in all sorts of ways, and over time, you kind of just learn the backups. You know, it's not like there's preset backups. Some spots, yes, but a lot of time it's kind of a freestyle moment.
Cheese going for his 100 coin now, just as Puncayshun is leaving Cool Mountain.
Yeah, Punkay is looking insane, pretty much continuing his flawless run through. But, you know, things are about to get just a little bit spicy.
Right, we've got a little bit, I wouldn't say a break because it still is very specific. Big Boo's Haunt, we're going to be getting 2 stars here before going downstairs. Now, going into SSL, which will be the first stage downstairs, that's what's given everybody trouble, not only here at PACE, but throughout the entire league, going for double pillarless.
Yeah, throughout the entire league, throughout the entire community.
Right.
Everybody has had some problems with shifting sandline. It is just, nobody's safe.
We'll be channeling our inner Tama, is what we're going to try to do here.
Shout out to Tama. Making it an even harder stage
Right.
than it already was. You got to do what you got to do for the time save, though. It is a double-edged sword.
Okay, headed back into Big Boo's Haunt just as Cheese is going to be going in for his first time, trying to make up time here. But Punkay is not letting up. He's got the pedal to the metal.
Speed Demon. Thrashing down the highway. No cops in sight, though. He's going at least 90.
At least.
Oh, little bonk from Cheese. I'm not even quite sure how that happened, actually. I'm not sure what wall he
It was
bonked
kind of
on.
weird. It was almost like on the fence. Oh,
Okay.
Ground pound for good look. The first hit here. All right, the star is spawned. When I first started running this game, watching this star, you look at it and you're like, oh man, that's incredibly easy, but it's also easy to fall off the top of the roof.
Oh, yeah.
You just kind of just slide off and there's no recovery. You have to go all the way back up to get up top. Cheese headed back into PBH just as Punke grabbing MIPS. Heading into SSL. Now, like we were saying before, SSL has really beat up the runners consistently, but Punke going off with Pillarless. You can tell he's really practiced that.
Good angle. Ooh, super close to the hole. Does not get sucked into it, though. And
he's in.
Pretty nice. It wasn't like buttery smooth. It was like butter that you just took out of the fridge.
Like margarine.
Yeah.
Like the consistency of margarine. I can
Like, it still tastes good, but it's not quite melting on the butter, you know, or on the toast, whatever you might be applying it to. But round 2, it's not quite in the clear yet. Another big bomb.
There we go.
He's got the angle.
Oh, and he drops the bomb into death.
And now we are seeing a couple of droplets of sweat coming from this man's forehead. The head tilted back a bit, giving the hands a good rub for good luck.
And as soon as it happened, Cheese looking up and kind of noticing that, sees that he may have a small opportunity here to kind of make up a little bit of time.
Okay, and second Tama for Punke, out of the way, and Cheese sticking to the classic. Very safe, got his double jump. Nice.
And that's where you sacrifice a little bit of that time to make sure that you can get in there and execute the strat correctly.
Punke beautifully landing onto that star. I think it was day 1 where he went past the star and lost heaps of time. But not happening today. The Pillarless is out of the way. We still have 1 on deck for Cheese. Punke got to be feeling pretty good about that, but can't breathe for too long. Lethal Lava Land right around the corner.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the first one that Punke has missed since day 1. I know that he went back after day 1 and practiced quite a bit. But I don't think he missed at all in day 2 or day 3.
That sounds about right. And 2 for Cheese. Saving very good time on Punke.
A ton.
One more mistake like that, and we're pretty much back at even. But that's asking a bit from Punke. Bit of a robot. Cheese has said it himself multiple times. He feels like he's playing against a robot when he's playing against Punke.
Robot hands engaged. Only a small hiccup in SSL for Punke. Looking really good for Cheese so far. Those are the opportunities that he needs, those small little increments. Punke heading in for Reds. We talked about yesterday, I believe, how these all kind of go into pairs in Lethal Lava Lands. The star order doesn't matter because you're getting every star here with the exception of 100 coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most players in the league, though, and these finals, starting with Reds.
Right. Maybe to give, like, a quick break, you know, knock something out quick, boost that confidence a little bit. Okay, doing the second in this set, which is the hot log rolling.
Yeah, another one that's pretty straightforward. Can slip up a few things here and there, but for the most part, fairly consistent. And I guess an analogy is like, it's like they're doing sprints.
Right.
Shifting Sandland is like sprint, and then the beginning of Lethal Lava Land is like a brisk jog. You know, working up a bit of a sweat, the heart getting a little bit of action.
Speaking of action, Punke going into the volcano now.
Here we go, lava boost for the man. Can he do it? That's one. And he's up. Very nice. A little hesitant on that triple jump dive and a booty slide for Cheese. What is the backup?
Oh, and he misses the triple.
This is where it comes into play, knowing the fastest backup. I think that's what he should have done the first time. Side flip just on top and the turnaround fly.
It's time to push up the glasses, make it happen. Punke heading back in to the volcano once again. a much easier star incoming, the elevator.
Now, both of them actually rocking glasses, so they do have the ability to power up by the slight push. And then if they need that level 2 boost, the lean forward. But that could also throw you off, I guess. It depends on what you're used to.
It could. Okay, making sure the hands are moist-free.
Yeah, there's definitely been moments where, like, you're just trying to keep the stick on your thumb.
Right.
It's just a little bit too slippery, and you're, like, holding on for dear life. So I don't blame Punkay at all for bringing that up and making sure he's completely dry.
And you wouldn't think that your hands generate that much sweat, but especially if you're in a competitive environment like this, it's just like rain in your hands.
Beautiful cheese. Yeah, the nerves are on, and that means sweat is it's a thing that happens.
Pouring.
I don't know about pouring, but it's definitely happening.
All right, Punkay gonna try with these 3 small bullies.
And so the interesting thing about this matchup is, like we've mentioned multiple times, Punkay is sort of a guy who values the consistency, and he'll drop some strats in order to get that consistency. But I think overall, Cheese has some faster strats, and if he's executing well, he can gain time on Punkay even if Punkay's playing flawlessly.
Right.
And we saw that Cheese got the triple bully strat with the ledge grab skip, which is at least a 1-second time save, if not a little bit more.
See, and that's where balancing that risk versus reward is super important. And, you know, Cheese may be doing some things that if he was in the lead, he wouldn't do, just to try to gain that little bit of an edge. Okay, heading into Dire Docks.
Front sub has been a little bit tough for him. We have seen him drop it a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken, at least once.
Yes. Gone with rear sub, believing it's Ouija?
Ooh, and a missed swim. That right there alone is at least a second or two.
It's tough to tell with the swim. We'll be able to hear when Cheese goes into Dire Docks here in just a moment, but it's very specific. It's a rhythm that you get into. Pressing the button. If you miss that, you have to gain that momentum over again.
And building that momentum back up does take some time. Optimal swimming ain't no joke.
Ain't no joke.
But flipping out of the sky into this big floating tunnel in the middle of the world.
It's very descriptive.
This long, winding tunnel. Oh, and Punkay actually content with his lead, going to pass on the front sub.
I don't blame him.
Not one bit.
He struggled a little bit with it, so do the tried and true. Yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of time here, but you know that almost kind of forces Cheese to go for front sub and do it just to make up that time.
Yeah, another opening. Punkay, he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll give you this little thing, but I'm not gonna mess up.
Right.
But you couldn't take your risk. That's fine. Good luck. Money on the line.
And as you can kind of hear the swims, I can't even describe that sound. It's like
as long as you're hearing that sound, you're good. But once it does not sound like that,
once you can't beatbox to it, you know you're wrong.
Beautiful manta rings from Punkay. Really nice lag reduction. And the front sub from Cheese. Is he landing it? Very nice.
And he got it. All right, let's get some hype going into Fire Sea for our first match of the day.
Punkay been repping that newer movement. Let's see if he can land it. Oh, the first for Punkay. Okay. Will not be able to make the lava boost early Ellies, but I think early Ellies is still on deck.
I think so as well.
For Cheese.
Now, I cannot remember off the top of my head if Cheese has been rocking that new movement or not.
I think he's messed with it, but he just doesn't want to slide it in quite yet. Hasn't played with it enough in runs. You know, You can practice a strat, be super consistent with it with practice, and Punkay's not making the cycle. So this is actually a very good time save that Cheese can get. But he is rocking that older movement, and it is much more difficult. Let's see what he's got, people. Come up the pole. Let's see how Punkay closes this out.
He should be able to make it from here.
Ooh, grab from Punkay. Losing even more time here in Fire Seed. Cheese looking really good for the cycle.
Oh, and he bonks.
Oh, man. Juicy.
Cheese is looking really good. He's going to get this lava boost here and in.
Boom.
Saving a ton of time over Punkay.
Oh, man.
You got to be feeling the heat at this point.
Beautiful ending from Cheese. About as fast as it's going to get. Didn't get that second long jump, but still.
He made it. I mean, close the gap from that huge
was
mistake.
Like 20 seconds plus. Saved.
Easy.
Now, I think it's about less than a 20-second lead from Punkay. One more mistake like that, and we're really out here.
You know, missing an elevator cycle, that shows just how much time it eats up.
And that could speak, you know, Punkay looking calm, cool, and collected, and his gameplay's been hot thus far. But underneath that metal t-shirt and behind the bun, the man is nervous.
26:09 fade out for Punkay.
So Wet Dry World coming up. What's going on there? What do we have to look out for?
Wet Dry World. So this is an area where Cheese has kind of struggled just a little bit in the tournament. Punkay getting caught up on the wall here. But typically the saucy part is going to be that Wet Dry World 100. It's one of the few spots within the game where you have some sort of RNG. You've got these skeeters that kind of just do whatever. We are going to see Punkay do this triple jump wall kick, which is incredibly difficult in this elevator star.
Does it like it's nothing. Just another day in the office.
Another day, yeah, agreed.
And Cheese as well. You know, typically players actually go for the 100 first, but
Yeah.
seeing triple jump wall kicks coming out. Cheese potentially just calling out Punkay, chasing him.
And it's the small things that you kind of don't recognize unless you're actively running the game, such as the camera manipulation going into that graded area. You kind of want to hang out to the left just a little bit to get the right angle to get those wall kicks up to the top of the elevator.
A nice triple jump wall kick there from Punkay. Cheese up to bat.
He's just matching him star for star at this point.
Beautiful. Absolutely just, ooh, yes.
We see that 100 here.
Nice, double box kick. They make it look so easy. Punkay going for the double box
very
kick.
nice.
Oh, man.
It's a lot tougher than it looks.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. The first one's like, okay, you have the setup, you have the camera, but that second one is really difficult.
Right.
There is the first one from Cheese. Not going to go for the second one. Quite a risky move. I was actually surprised to see Punkay go for that. But must have practiced it quite a bit.
Look at this Skeeter right here, going to do a wall kick, grab
nice.
those coins. Plenty of time to grab the blues.
You can only miss one coin. So if things are not going good RNG-wise, you can lose a fair amount of time. Might even need to get a backup coin box.
And that backup box is on the same, like, almost dock where we just saw the star spawn for Puncayshun. So you do lose a little bit of time, and I think there's only 3 coins in that box, if I'm not mistaken.
That is right. Punkay, very risky chuck-ya throw, but doesn't matter. Has that extra coin. Living life on the edge. Wow, Cheese with the single jump kick, but still able to grab all the coins from the box.
So another thing that you can kind of see here, and we'll see Cheese do it in just a second, for some reason in the game development, whenever you do a rollout, which we see right here, you don't take fall damage. Even though if you were to just jump off the side there, Mario would become a pancake for a second. But if you do it out of a rollout, you can kind of just fall where you need to fall without taking damage. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a really strange property, and it applies to everything, like falling, getting stuck in snow. Like if you jump from very high height in Cool Mountain, for example, you'll just get stuck in the snow. But if you land from a rollout, it's Gucci gang, as the kids say. Not sure if the kids say that, though.
I don't think
Commentator
so.
trying to fit in, but, you know, it might just be a little bit too old for that.
A little. No more dad of speedrunning. It's now grandpa of speedrunning. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Has a nice ring to it.
It does. Puncayshun heading into tiny, huge islands. We're going to see him knock these secrets out.
And this
Wow.
right here, look at that. No leg reduction
0.
actually coming out from Punkay. But if Cheese goes for it, he can save. I mean, there's so much lag on that third secret area.
There is.
And we should see Cheese going for the Mario
Mario
Cam.
Cam.
There
Yep,
it
right
is.
here.
Really nice. At least half a second save there. Those tiny things, man. That's what this game is all about. That's why it just keeps going.
Especially on this level. You know, this level of gameplay, every second counts. You know, at this point, your PB attempts, that's when you're at home. When you're up here on the stage, going against your bro Chacho up there, these little small movement, these small details are going to decide who wins and who doesn't.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Beautiful clip from Punkay about a perfect run through the star. Let's see if Cheese can also get it popping. Very nice.
I mean, it's almost so good. It's like a mirror image at this point. You know, Punkay's coming with the right hook, Cheese is coming with the left. Like, it's just back and forth here. Punkay gonna do some weed eating of his own here.
Couple quick laps.
They don't even grow to their full potential. Just kind of get knocked out as babies. Taking a little pause there to let the last one spawn. They're gonna ground pound, and the star is gonna just come right to him. But Cheese, hot on his tail. Different camera angle from Cheese.
Yeah, doing this in C-up might actually reduce a little bit of lag. That could be why he's going for that. Oh, and Punkay giving the wall a little bit of love. A little hug.
Speaking with Toad before going into Tall Mountain. Now, Tall Mountain is one of those areas, one of those courses where it's almost like a precursor. I mean, it is a precursor to Tippy, but it makes you nervous.
Big time.
I mean, we're going in at around 32 minutes. We're going to possibly see Breezeless here from Punkay.
Oh, super late wall kick, but he doesn't go for the ground pound. Super smart. Realized that was not working in a million years. It's just reducing the time lost. Now, I don't think Cheese will even bother with going for Breezeless. Nah.
No.
And so even, again, he's creeping up. I mean, look at this, man. We were like a little bit over 20 seconds apart in Wet Dry World, and there's been no mistakes. You know, like, oh, that's a mistake on Punkay's side, but it's just been these tiny things. And now it's like maybe 15 seconds?
Yeah, it's nothing big. Like, no massive mistakes so far in this upstairs.
Not even 15, actually. It's looking like about 10. Comes Waterfall Star. Cheese has got these reds down to a T. It's just gorgeous movement. Let's see how these next four go. Camera turn. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah.
Spicy.
Oh, yeah. That's what we like to see, baby.
It goes back to that Blue Bob adage. Ooh,
The misclick
Punkay.
from Punkay.
What's he going to do?
The Goliath. Is he taking a punch? A chink in the armor?
I'm surprised, you know, Punkay had a couple of different options at that point. You know, he could have gone for a backup star, but it's not easy to back that up, that clip, to just kind of do it on the fly, but a nice little half circle, and he was in. Cheese right behind him.
Ooh, very nice reaction from Cheese there. Robot Shun. Is there a glitch in the code?
Punkay going for his reds at this point.
And you can just see, like, looking at these reds, not as refined. You know, watching Cheese, that was like a perfect run through. And though, even though Punkay's not making any noticeable mistakes, it's just not as crisp.
It's the small things.
It's a little soggy. Having a ground pound under the star as well. And look at this. Cheese only 4 seconds behind.
Insane.
Creeping up. Now Punkay's got to be feeling the heat.
Heading up now, Punkay is going to be going for this box star. Same thing with Cheese. Ooh.
Fall damage from Punkay.
We are literally neck and neck here.
Yeah, God, man.
Like 2.5 seconds or so.
It's inspirational, honestly. Like, thinking back to the beginning of this race, Cheese fell in Dark World.
Right.
But he didn't let it get to him. Kept his head up, been hard at work, and now they are racing on the highway.
This is the time, you know, where the nerves really start setting in, not only because of your opponent, but because of Tippy coming up. Hardest start here, Puncayshun and Cheese. Look, gorgeous. Just back and forth, back and forth.
At this point, I'm just sort of taking it for granted. Like, they're both performing so well that it's hard to appreciate how well they're doing.
Agreed. We saw the sync earlier in Super Mario Odyssey. Will we see it again here? I mean, we're pretty close. Cheese taking a bump.
Clear the wall. And that is, fortunately, a pretty big time loss, but still within 10 seconds. And a margin of that size, especially going in forward as we go into Tippy, is nothing. One throw, one fall.
Throw, exactly. And that's where we've been saying it time and time again, you know, Punkay just putting his head down and running the game, like not really changing up what he does typically. And that's a good thing. Going back into SL one more time. Gonna take out this bully. Just kind of push him off. Double jump into a ground pound right into the star. We're gonna see Cheese do the same movement here.
Just like not even a big deal at all.
Not at all.
Full alpha, just taking care, you know, this is my stage now. Thank you for the star. It's been fun. And now I'm out.
You're going to see both of these runners head back into Snowman's Land. What they're doing is they enter and then they're going to exit the course so that they don't have to travel all the way downstairs. Because as we see Cheese here, when you come back in, you're right in the lobby. You can head down to the basement to tackle HMC. And the main reason why we do HMC and 70 star is this little guy here. Getting MIPS. After 50 stars, you can grab MIPS one more time. And it saves about a second over some of the old routing, which had HMC early. It would normally be after Lethal Lava Lands.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting route. I feel like it's definitely better because you get to the harder stages quicker. You get upstairs. I feel like Hazy Maze Cave, in the grand scheme of things, is pretty low difficulty. You do have the triple jump on the box over the wall to get the island star, but other than that, it's pretty consistent.
Compared to 120, where you've got HMC 100 and all of these just crazy things, it's kind of a nice breath of fresh air.
Definitely. Like, normally you go straight from Snowman's Land into the action in the old route, but you have just one more pause before you really get into the nitty-gritty.
That boulder kind of wanted a piece of cheese, wasn't over far enough. He said, no, I'm too fast for this.
Keeping the block of cheese intact right now. Maybe like a couple chunks have fallen
like
off.
Some shreds.
Yeah.
Some shreds.
Ooh. Spicy jump dive off the wall from Punkay. All right, triple jump box for Cheese. This is an important one, and it's no problemo.
Easy.
Easy money.
And that's what's crazy is that a lot of these strats that you're seeing are not easy. It's something that these guys have practiced hundreds and probably thousands of hours to focus on these individual strats.
2 more stars in the way. Beautiful switch press from Punkay. Oh!
Up. All right. That could have been bad.
Could have been really bad.
You know, that slope right below the slope is just a endless pit of death.
Scuttlebug just kind of conveniently there. Gotta watch out for him. But could have also potentially been maybe some sort of, you know, corruption going on. I mean, he was perfectly there.
Maybe Punkay sliding a couple of coins into Scuttlebug's pocket. You know, he's got a family too.
Ooh, getting caught on the wall. And that is that. Man, this pace.
At pace.
This pace at pace.
It's pretty hot.
So Punkay landing Hazy Maze Cave 54. Let's see where Cheese is at.
That same exit course, I wouldn't call it a strat, but I guess it is. You know, going back in, exiting course, puts you right at the base of the stairs. So all you have to do is climb up and open up the 50-star door.
Indeed. So about 12 seconds apart going into Tippy. Cheese has done such a good job of catching back up to Punkay from the beginning.
Now,
But it's all coming to a head.
a lot of SM64 streams call it tippy. What is the reasoning behind that? What does tippy mean?
It's some slang. It's like the tip top of the castle.
The tippy top.
And the way that Cheese does Lakitu Bounce actually is a faster strat, so can save a little bit of time here, and depending on how smooth it is, getting caught on the pole there.
Listening to that Mario remix.
That was all right. That was a pretty good impression.
I was pressing my A button to make it happen. That's what it was.
Can I press your A button?
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh. Oh, Punkay's so good about that backup. Wanted to go for the side flip, but does not get it immediately, knows what he needs to do next.
And those walls are kind of finicky to wall kick off of. Because it's like if you go straight at the wall, the wall kick comes off weird, but we saw Punkay go at almost like a 45-degree angle to get the height that he needed to grab that red coin. Solid backup from him. In tricky triangles from Cheese, it's super satisfying to watch tricky triangles because it's just incredibly fast.
Oh, even able to navigate around.
Oh, and Punkay.
Both players having some trouble here in Rainbow Ride. A blow for a blow.
Oh, he misses. The
There's
coin
a tough red grab. What's the backup here?
backed it up really quick with a wall kick and back up there. Got to grab the star now. This is where we see the nerves kind of start to set in. We're going to see the swinging of the breeze star here from Punkay.
And Punkay, again, he actually knows the fastest strat here for swinging in the breeze, but it's a very risky one, and it's so close. Not worth the risk, because he knows Cheese isn't going to go for it either.
And it's kind of knowing your opponent. You know, these guys have been playing together for years and years, so it's almost like two minds, but they know what each other's thinking, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. So Punkay getting the Toad Star before tick-tock clock, and Cheese will most likely be getting it after, and that is a 1 second time save for Cheese. Just a route thing that Punkay's not picked up yet.
Okay, going for the... Ooh.
Having trouble breaking this box, and here we are, neck and neck, and tick-tock clock 100, the final stage, right on his heels.
Arguably one of the most difficult stars. A lot of movement and a lot of risk. I mean, we're neck and neck once again.
And Punkay does have that Toad Star in his pocket, but Cheese definitely gaining some good time there. But man, both these 100s looking good. So crisp. It's like a Pringle. I feel like Pringle's crispiness is about perfection.
I'd say so. But not Chaos Pringle.
Chaos Pringle is a man. A legendary man.
And with that, Cheese is in the lead by a little bit now. Just barely.
Sort of.
And Punkay has got it back just like that. As Blue Bob said, movement saves minutes. Strats save seconds.
Yeah, it's sort of a mentality that you see a lot when players come in. They're like, oh man, I need to learn all the strats, all the hard strats. But it's definitely about taking it easy and just doing it fast.
Right. Cheese eating his ice cream cone from the top. Punkay taking a giant bite out of the middle.
Yeah, that's got to be the most complicated. Actually, yeah, I think biting it out of the middle is the most complicated because then it's like...
Then you got like 2 pieces.
Right. But if you bite it out the bottom of the cone, then it's like you're leaking.
Exactly.
Commentators going off about ice cream cones. Nobody quite sure what they're talking about.
Ever.
You want to give us a little bit of insight.
So these 3 stars here that we see, we just saw Cheese kind of like get the middle star. He's starting from the top, which is the pit and the pendulums. Roll into the cage is the middle one, and take a hand is the bottom one. And ideally, you want to kind of start at the top like you see Cheese doing here and work your way down. The reason why, if you fall, it's a lot easier to back up one of those lower stars. But if you take the bottom and work your way up and you fail on the top star, you've got nowhere to go but down.
And that's it. It's a cone.
It's a cone, not a sandwich. The stopping time here for both of these guys.
This Tippy in general, though, has been so clean from both players, and there's not much left. She's actually getting a firstie there. One of the firsties, that's a good thing if you can respond to it. Not much left in the way.
Not really. I mean, we're at 46 minutes in, and we're this close still. That's insane.
And this ground pound from Punkay.
Ground frown.
Ground frown. One more to go. These red coins can be a little bit tricky. Once you get the triple jump out of the way, it's pretty much smooth sailing.
And to be honest, I think we're probably just about synced up, considering...
Oh, the ball
no.
from Cheese falling all the way down and just holding the analog stick a little bit too hard. Oh, he could have saved some really good time there. So Cheese still does need to get Toad Star, but Punkay will be going straight to Bowser in the sky. This first game, the ball's in his court, man. I mean, if he drops a throw, Cheese is in the house. He's saying hi. He's poking his head in the window. Or he could just close it straight out, lock the windows.
I think that we're going to see the same thing that we've seen from Punkay, playing it really, really safe. I think he's been doing left side consistently. Cheese been going for that moving right to save a little bit of time, but
beautiful triple jump dive from Cheese. All right, here it is. All the marbles.
Wow.
That was so close. I didn't think Punkay was going to make that gap. Taking his time, nothing too fancy. Beautiful triple jump dive from Cheese. Left side from Punkay. Left side, not moving. Very safe.
super safe.
And Cheese can actually save some really good time on that, but it doesn't matter if Punkay gets the 3 throws. And I think he knows that. Oh, nice right side moving from Cheese.
And Punkay's in. Got to switch controllers out here.
Oh, Goomba, hello.
Wow.
All right. Less than 10 seconds apart. 1 missed throw, and Cheese is out here. That's 1 for Punkay.
That's 1.
The audience chiming in. Here we go. 2. 1 for Cheese.
That's 1.
Oh.
And
that is
3
for Punkay.
Punkay.
Who keeps it under the pressure. And Cheese as well, 3 clean ones. Still, I don't think we've seen a missed throw from Cheese, and both of them with high 48s, bringing the highest level of gameplay in game 1. Punkay takes it home, now 1 game away from first place and a juicy prize pool. Shout outs to all the donators, by the way. The contributions have been absolutely insane.
Nutty.
We flipped it back to the setting up screen and saw it was like 900 or 800 something. Then it was 1,900. Absolutely insane.
Went up instantly. Look, Chad going absolutely nuts. A completely different performance from what we saw on day 1 from both of these guys, actually.
Taking a sip of water, making sure he's hydrated. Getting ready for next game. Now, it felt like a sort of fluke that Cheese was kind of just trying to make up for the whole time. He fell in Dark World, and then it was like, from there, you know, it's really hard to get back, especially against a player like Punkay. And, I mean, he got back at one point.
Trying to build back up to that. I mean, he was right there. If he wouldn't have fallen, during TTC Reds, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, that's actually a good point because Punkay had some weird troubles during the Reds there as well. So I don't, not a doubt in my mind that Cheese can take this game 2, and both of them definitely have the stamina to take it to game 3. But I mean, at a point, it is like a question of how well can you play in a game 3.
Agreed.
Mean, 3 back-to-back races, that's a lot. Like one race
It is.
On its own can take a lot of energy, take a lot of focus, and to take it back to back to back.
Well, normally at this time, everybody's giving their GGs. They're like, okay, all right, thanks, good race, great, but we're restarting again for number 2. Mm-hmm. And so we've got to do what we just did all over again.
Absolutely.
Things to look out for, I still think that Punkay is going to keep his nose to the grindstone, to be honest. Placement, good job. Keeping his nose to that grindstone and actually doing what he's been doing best. Like that's why he's been on the top throughout this entire league, to be honest. Playing consistent. Cheese will pop off.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, but I could definitely say that Punkay has been the most consistent throughout.
100%.
I mean, popping off 48s like it's nothing.
Like it is nothing. But I know I've been saying it, that Cheese has sort of got the strats over Punkay, but Punkay seems to have the consistency.
Right.
But I didn't realize how many strats he actually has. I mean, there's a fair amount that we saw there where Cheese just gained time. Even though Punkay was playing on point, not making mistakes, Cheese was just catching up, running a little bit faster.
Exactly.
He's got the thighs, they're toned.
The toned thighs and arms.
And calves.
And calves.
He's got the full thing going.
But, the thing about Cheese, to be honest, if you watch him, kind of watch his face cam as you're going through, you can tell that he's thinking in his head, okay, I can probably change this out for this. And it's almost like chess.
Yeah.
So he's not going to run the same way every time. He's constantly looking up, looking at the giant screen, seeing what's going on, seeing what his opponent's doing, listening to us, listening to the crowd, and kind of just changes on the fly. We saw that, I believe it was with Ouija, Cheese versus Ouija, where Ouija had to do HMC early. So what did Cheese do? HMC early. Like it was crazy. Just having the ability to just switch and still come up with the times that are happening here.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
Absolutely. And we did see that from Punkay when we were in Dire Docks. He always goes from front sub.
Right.
Assuming that it's a close race, he'll go for it, but he knows he's dropped it a couple times in these matches, and he had a fair enough lead. He's like, you know what? I'm going to drop it. And Cheese stepped up to bat, got the front sub, saved the time. So it's like, do you do it? Do you drop it? You got to look at the lead. How confident are you feeling?
Right. Because you could go for some of those strats that are higher risk and then just put yourself at even more of a deficit.
Absolutely.
And that just destroys your confidence. We saw that yesterday with D whatever. You're going for those strats to try to catch up time because you know what your opponent's doing. But then if you don't execute those strats properly, you're just going to dig yourself deeper into a hole.
Yes.
So it's a balance. Normally throughout the league, you can wait for your opponent to kind of make a mistake somewhere because it's going to happen.
Right.
But here we're not seeing that.
Yeah.
Like
Robot, Jones.
Very robotic. Very robotic.
And Cheese is back, restarted the console.
Stretching out.
Getting ready,
getting the hands going.
Everybody, go ahead and give
lucid.
your body some love. Give
everybody in the
just
audience.
A little bit of get those shoulders, aligned.
This is yoga with Simply tonight, is what it is.
I love this one.
That's like your favorite. That's your go-to, right?
This is the one right here. This is
this the right way.
And you don't want to pull too hard.
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, just enough to feel it, and just hold it for a while.
And just hang out and talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and again,
flipping it up,
not too hard. Just feel the stretch.
Just a little bit of tension.
Mm-hmm.
That's hot. I like it.
Make sure you get both hands.
Oh yeah, got to do the other side too.